Hello kindred spirit and welcome to my channel. My name is Veronica Virgo and I do pick a card tarot readings weekly as well as other videos related to my spiritual awakening and healing journey. So if that is something that you're interested in, go ahead and check out my other videos. Whether you are brand new to my channel or you are an OG subscriber who comes to my readings every week, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. It is an honor to read for you today and always, and I'm really excited to get into today's reading because it's all about what attracts people to you like a magnet. So this reading was kind of just inspired by summer. It's the peak of summer and everybody's in their hot girl, hot boy summer energy. And I just thought it would be a kind of a fun, flirty reading to do to find out not only what makes you attractive, but what really draws people in like a magnet. What is magnetic about you or your energy that really just makes you irresistible in some way? I just want to give you a disclaimer in case you haven't been to my readings before, which is that take from the reading and do not let the reading take from you. Okay, readings are meant to bring healing and clarity and help align you with your highest good, or at least that is my intention for the readings that I offer. And just remember that this is a general reading, so it is meant for all of the beautiful starshines out there who are watching. So if most of your reading resonates with you, but there are just one or two small parts that aren't clicking, just let it go and let it flow, okay? Don't hold on to anything that isn't meant for you. So without further ado, let's get into the group selection. Tune in with your intuition. Pause the video if you need to. And maybe even close your eyes, taking 3 deep and slow belly breaths to ground and center your energy. Then open your eyes and you will feel one of the groups really calling out to you and your heart. To jump ahead to the group that you've selected, scroll down to the description box below and you will see the timestamps where you can click and select your group. Alrighty, so if you selected group number 1, the first group, then this is your reading on what attracts people to you like a magnet. So today I pre-shuffled and selected the cards, so we will just go through them one by one. So the first card that you have is the Moon. So immediately as I pulled this card, I felt a big release of tension. So something that draws people to you like a magnet is that you help people to release tension. You help people forget about their worries in some way, or forget about their stress in some way. I'm almost seeing this not as a grounding in the traditional sense of coming back to earth, but almost like how the earth orbits the sun, but you are the sun in this example, even though this is the Moon card. So it's like people come and are attracted to you like a magnet because something about your energy is very, I don't know if calming is the right word, but it's almost like you operate in an energy of calm comparison to the rest of the world. So when people come, they're attracted to you, they get into your orbit, and then they feel a release of tension and stress. With the Moon card, the Moon is also very connected to the divine feminine and to feminine energy. So regardless of how you identify gender-wise, you definitely have a lot of potent feminine energy within you that attracts people to you like a magnet. People also have this sense about you that you're not bad or you're not good, in the sense of like you're not a bad boy or a bad girl or a good boy or a good girl, like a goody two-shoes. It's almost like you're in this liminal space where you're kind of in a gray area, but in a good way. It's like people like the fact that you're not so goody two-shoes, but you're also not like total like bad boy or bad girl energy either. You might be connected to symbols in some way. Perhaps you have symbols tattooed on your body or symbols on your jewelry. But there's something that you wear or put on yourself or is presented perhaps online on your online persona that has symbols. And people are attracted to you like a magnet for these symbols that you put on you or your persona in some way. People also feel that you can take them deeper into somewhere that they've never been before, but that is also a safe place. It's like a safe but unknown place. So although people feel a sense of maybe mystery or unknown about you, they also feel drawn to you like a magnet, because although it is unknown, something about you and your energy feels safe to people. I'm also noticing this branch, which I've never noticed ever in this card, that seems to almost be like coming towards the figure, like grabbing at her arm. Do you see that? And now I'm noticing that all of the branches around her are almost kind of like going into her hair, going on her arm. So you could be somebody who a lot of people want your energy, or coming towards you, coming around you, because they almost want to like siphon your energy. So just be careful, because your energy is so, I think, stress relieving in some way. People feel very drawn to it. So just make sure that you ground and center and do whatever it is that you do to revitalize and protect your energy. That was a lot of information for just one card, and I honestly feel like I could just keep going with this one card because there's a lot coming through for you guys, but we have quite a bit of cards to get through. So I'm going to bring out the next card here. So we have the High Priestess right next to the moon. Yes, definitely divine feminine. Beautiful, welcome. You are my people group 1. People are drawn to you like a magnet because something about you feels otherworldly, something about you feels magical, something about you feels divine, but not in the goody two-shoes, saintly way, more in the way of sacred sensuality or magic or divination. Maybe you have intuitive abilities and people can sense this. But if you're aware of the different goddess energies of maiden, mother, and crone, it's almost like your energy is tied more to maiden than to mother, and maybe even a little bit to crone, because something about you feels wise. But I am feeling more of a, sorry group 1, my camera got cut off there for a second, but we are back. So as I was saying, I'm picking up more of a maiden as opposed to mother or crone energy as much. And that tells me that either you are a younger person, if you're not a younger person, you're younger in spirit, or if you are older and you don't feel like you're a younger in spirit, and then it could just mean that you look younger than you are. So you don't look your age. Something about you appears to be youthful. It's like you may look young from the outside, but something on the inside seems very ancient about you, or deep, or it's almost like what you look like from the outside seems younger than what people get from you on the inside, if that makes sense. Also with the High Priestess here, another thing that draws people to you like a magnet is that there's something secretive about you, or perhaps you keep people's secrets, like your friends or family or people you're close to. They can trust you with their secrets. Like, you don't feel like somebody who's going to go and gossip to other people about other people's business. Like, there's something that feels solitary to you, almost like the moon. There's something that feels very independent about you. Like, you're more connected to your internal self rather than connecting with a lot of people externally, if that makes sense. Alrighty, so we're gonna get into your next card here, which says understand your body. Something that draws people to you like a magnet and makes you appear very attractive is there could be something that you do in terms of movement, or something that you do with your body, such as like yoga or dance or a sport. It's going to be unique for each person watching, but if you do some kind of movement, some kind of body movement, this draws people to you like a magnet and makes you appear very attractive because it makes you look in tune with your body. Something about your physical body could also draw people towards you like a magnet and make you appear very attractive. But another thing that I'm getting too is touch. Like I'm almost feeling like I want to touch my hands. My sense of touch is being highlighted. So you could either look very pleasing or pleasurable to touch, or it could also mean that you have the ability of clairsentience. So picking up into things intuitively with your feeling things in your body or feeling things emotionally. But the sense out of the 6 senses of feeling is coming up. So those are the messages that I'm getting with this card. But something about you seems very in tune with your body, which makes you appear not only sensual, but knowledgeable. And this makes people attracted towards you. So the next card we have here is the 8 of Cups. Alrighty, so with the 8 of Cups, the very first thing that I heard is an energy of playing hard to get. Okay, so don't take offense to this if this is something you do on purpose or not, but something about you feels very coveted and off limits. It's almost like people are drawn to you, but then once they start talking to you, they sense that you're not sharing all of yourself with them. Like there's more to you that feels off access. Off access? Is that a word? Is that a phrase? That feels off limits. That isn't accessible. Almost like also I'm getting like an avoidant energy, okay? And this is like not in a bad way, but it's like you feel like somebody who goes very deep and personal. Like there's something that seems very intimate, like you want to connect. But then maybe when people talk to you, they're left wanting more because maybe you don't go as deep as what it seemed like you would. Not because you're not, but because I think you are just careful about who you share yourself and your energy with. Another thing is that I'm noticing is the moon for the 3rd time here. And here we have the image of the moon in its dark phase, in its waxing phase, the full moon in its waning phase, and then we have the new moon. So you're somebody who could maybe have gone through a lot of different phases in terms of how you dress or your appearance, or maybe of what you're interested in or passionate about. And this draws people to you like a magnet because you seem like somebody who is flexible and open-minded or has a lot to be passionate about. It could also make you seem more relatable to more people because if you, like, this is just an example, but let's say, like, you know how in movies in high school you have like the nerd, the goth, the popular kid, like that's what I mean in terms of like you might have gone through different phases which made you approachable to all of those different groups. And if it's not phases in how you dress and appear, it could just be in your different interests. Like you seem approachable to not just one group or style of people, but many. And this draws people towards you like a magnet because it makes you feel like ever changing or flexible, or like you're not rigid or stuck in your ways. Once again, it's making me think of like divine feminine, which is very like fluid and gray area, rather than masculine, which is like more harsh ridges and structures and lines, you know? I hope this is making sense. Honestly, sometimes channeling energy is like, it's like you're picking up impressions and then trying to verbalize them. Sometimes I'm like, I hope people get what I'm saying. But okay, let's move on to your next card, which says be of service. Okay, group 1. So there is something about you that really serves others. And I am getting a side note here that one of you, it could be a couple, but are a server or have been or were a server or will be a server. And by server, I mean like a waitress or a waiter. And this draws people to like a magnet because it makes you seem attractive, or maybe you appear very attractive while you're serving. For those of you who do not identify as being a server in any way, this is about something that you do. It could either be your profession or maybe it's something you do as a hobby, but you are very committed to something. And through this thing that you are committed to, it's like you serve the world or you serve people in this way. So for example, think about a guitarist, okay? Or a musician. So you might not think of a guitarist as somebody who is of service to the world. But when you really think about it, if that guitarist's music really helps people and speaks to people and gets people through tough times and inspires them to better moments, then their music is of service. And that's what I'm getting from you. I'm not getting like a docile energy. I'm getting more of like something you do is of service, and this draws people to you like a magnet because whatever you're doing is helping them in some way, or is serving humanity or the world or your community or family, some group of people in some way. Already, ooh. So next up we have embarking with number 11. Okay, so you could be somebody who's on a spiritual path or is just starting to embark on a spiritual path. If you don't identify with just starting to be on a spiritual path and you've been on one for quite a while, then you could just be entering a new level of spiritual understanding or growth, because number 11 really makes me think of spiritual awakening, connecting spiritually, but in a new way that you never have before. If you just start attending like events or spiritually related groups, then something about this makes you very attractive to people and it draws people towards you like a magnet. If you don't resonate with that, then whatever it is for you that you have recently come into that is related to being more conscious, being more aware in some way, connecting with your spirituality in some way, this draws people to you like a magnet and makes you seem very attractive because it feels like you're going on an adventure, like an interesting and unknown adventure. And that makes you attractive to people because it's not something they're familiar with. And it's also something that seems unknown in an exciting way. And this draws people towards you like a magnet. Already group 1. So next up we have DNA with karma. So the first thing I'm getting here with DNA is that there could be something about your looks that you've inherited from your mother or father or that runs in your family line that is particularly attractive, and this draws people to you like a magnet. So maybe the people in your family have very beautiful eyes, or you've inherited very beautiful eyes from someone in your line. Okay, and it doesn't have to be eyes. It could be any part of your physical appearance, but something about your physical appearance that you've inherited from your family line draws people to you like a magnet and makes you appear very attractive. With karma, and with karma especially being under the moon in the high priestess, remember how I said that although you may appear youthful in some way, or something about your appearance may look more youthful, but on the inside, something about you feels ancient and deep and doesn't quite match you on the outside? With karma, it's making me think of past lives, which makes me think of old soul. Okay, so something that draws people to you like a magnet is that you seem not only wise beyond your years, but wise beyond this lifetime, okay? Something about you feels ancient and wise. Like you've lived more lifetimes than you can count, and people pick up on this in some way, and it draws people to you like a magnet. Also, with the snake appearing on this card, it makes me think of transformation, and it makes me think of feminine energy, of Kundalini rising. And coming after the number 11 with embarking, you could be somebody who is going through a Kundalini awakening, or somebody who has gone through a Kundalini awakening or will. But there's something about energy rising up within you, divine feminine energy, being connected spiritually in some way. And this draws people to you and makes you very magnetic. Once again, I'm noticing symbols on this snake. And remember, I mentioned symbols earlier with the moon card. So take this as it resonates for you, but there's some connection you have with symbols. And whatever connection you have with symbols, like I said, whether it is like tattoos or jewelry or light language, but there's something about you that is, maybe you create art with symbols in it. I don't know what it is, but it'll be different for each person. But something about your symbols that makes you very attractive and draws people to you like a magnet. Alrighty, so the next card we have for you, group 1, is the 7 of Wands. Interesting. Okay, remember I said I got a bit of an avoidant energy with the 8 of Cups. So I'm feeling that again with the 7 of Wands. Something about you feels off limits or is on the defense. It's like maybe you're a little bit of a defensive person, or you're just somebody who protects yourself, protects your energy. Maybe you're a private person, you protect something about your life or your lifestyle, but it's like you don't let people in, or you don't let everyone in. You are selective with who you open up to and who you're vulnerable with. Not everybody is privy to, you know, your innermost thoughts and feelings. And this draws people to you like a magnet because they want to know, they want to get on the inside with you, group 1. I'm also drawn to this woman, like you can kind of see her nipple through her dress, and it's a bit sensual. So it's making me think of the body, of something about you appears physically sensual about your body, and this draws people to you like a magnet. And now I'm noticing that some of her hair looks white, a couple of strands look white. So once again, it makes me think of wise beyond your years, old soul, ancient. I don't think the word ancient has come out this many times or ever in a reading, so you guys might have an ancient soul. I'm just saying, group 1. Okay, so the next card we have is Mama Koja with water. Yeah, some of you are dancers, and maybe not everybody, but if you're not a dancer, also it could be that when you dance, something about you appears very sensual and draws people to you like a magnet. You could also be, the water here makes me think of water signs. So you could have water as your big 3 in your birth chart, or it could just also be representative of how intuitive you are, because the element of water is connected to our emotions and to our intuition and to our psychic abilities. I'm also still getting to learn this deck, so I think I'm going to look in the book and see if there are any other additional messages coming from this card. Once again, I'm drawn to the symbols and the symbology on her crown. So maybe you're somebody who interprets symbols or deciphers meaning from symbols, and this draws people to you like a magnet. I'm also drawn to the color of gold, the golden energy here, which for me, when I pick up gold in people's aura, it tells me that their soul is very old. So once again, old soul is coming through. You could also feel connected to bodies of water, or maybe when you're swimming or near a body of water, people find you very attractive and it draws people to you like a magnet. Once again, water is also a very feminine energy. So there is something about you and your energy that is very feminine, very much divine feminine energy. We also have the number 33 here, which is about connecting with ascended masters. It's about fun, play, adventure, creativity, expansion. So if you feel that you embody any of these qualities, then these could be some of the qualities that draw people to you like a magnet and make you appear very attractive. Oh my gosh, remember how I said feminine energy is more like flowing and gray area, and masculine energy is more like rigid lines? This says in the book, water is fluid and passes through cracks and flaws in the ground without stress. Remember, I also said that you guys de-stress people in some way. That's so funny. It says moving around obstacles and patiently wearing away the most jagged rocks until they are smooth and gleaming. Yeah, so if people come to you with a lot of masculine energy, trying to like come to you with a lot of logic and reasoning, you almost like smooth it out like a jagged rock. You bring your feminine energy to it. As well as stress. Like if people come to you with a lot of stress and anxiety, you help them to feel calm and relaxed in some way. Alrighty, group 1. So your next card says, appreciate your talents. Ooh, I love it. So part of what draws people to you like a magnet, group 1, is that they appreciate your talents. Whatever your talents encompass, whatever it is that you do that makes you stand apart from the rest, people appreciate you for that. They think that your talents are worthwhile, that your talents are valuable, and that you're very talented in some way, and this draws people to you. Perhaps this is also related, as it does come under the card of be of service, to, remember I said there's something that you do that is of service to people, even if it isn't in the traditional sense. So this is a part of your talent, and people appreciate this about you and are attracted to you for it. The orange on this card also makes me think of the sacral chakra, which makes me think of creative energy, of creativity, of sensuality. So there is something that feels and seems very creative and sensual about you that draws people to you like a magnet. The next card we have for you, group 1, is the 8 of Swords. And it's interesting because then after that you have Maya with illusion. And the reason why I say that it's interesting is because the 8 of Swords can talk about us being trapped in our illusions. It's like we perceive that something is holding us back, but it's really not. So perhaps there's something about your talents or the way you are of service to the world. Maybe you feel like it holds you back, but it really doesn't. It's actually what people appreciate about you, what makes you stand out in the best way possible, what people actually are attracted to you for and draw people to you like a magnet. Perhaps you are somebody who fantasizes a lot or has a big imagination, as I see the third eye chakra highlighted on this goddess here. But with the third eye chakra and illusion being next to the 8 of Swords, coming up under a reading that is about how you are attractive or what draws people to you. Something about you feels like a fantasy, feels too good to be true, feels like an illusion in the best way possible, and people want to be a part of that fantasy. Something about you feels out of this world to people or feels fantastical in some way, and it's like people want to join you on your magic carpet ride, on your pirate ship. I'm also looking in the book for this card as well. As I mentioned to you guys that I'm still learning about this deck as it is a new deck. Super interesting. So listen to this sentence that it says, multicultural goddess of illusion Maya calls you to trust that the invisible world is responding to your deepest desires and intentions to make a better life for yourself and others. You are able to see through the curtains of illusion. Your clarity and intuition is heightened as your next steps are sure-footed. When the goddess Maya chooses to help you, trust that everything you need arises from your world with ease. So definitely people feel that you're connected to things that they can't see. So whether that's emotions or just your intuition, but people feel that you are connected in some deeper way to the world and to things that they can't readily see with their eyes. And this draws people to you like a magnet and makes you appear very attractive. Alrighty, group one, that is what I am seeing for you in terms of what draws people towards you like a magnet and makes you seem attractive. I really hope that it resonated with you, and if it did, please comment down below and let me know what thoughts and feelings it brought up for you. Subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already so that I can do more readings for you in the future. Go ahead and give me a like, as it really helps the YouTube algorithm to pick up my readings and get them out there to more beautiful starshines out there who could use it and hopefully benefit from it. I am wishing you the most hot girl, hot boy summer of your life, and I will see you guys in the next reading. Bye, group one. Alrighty, so if you selected group number 2, the second group, then this is your reading all about what attracts people to you like a magnet. So today I pre-shuffled the cards and we're just going to go through them one by one. So your first card, group 2, is the Fairy Stallion, otherwise known as the Chariot in the traditional Rider-Waite Pamela Coleman Smith tarot. Already, group 2, so something that draws people to you like a magnet is that you're a very action-oriented person. You are somebody who is down to go and do something, fun, to take action on something. You are not somebody who gets stuck in your head and over analyzes and mulls over things too much. It's like you think of something, you're like, okay, let's do it. And this draws people to you and makes you attractive because it makes you seem, it brings a purity and an innocence to your essence and your energy, because it's almost like instead of considering all of the possibilities, you are down to take a risk. You are somebody who is a risk taker, and this draws people to you like a magnet. Your next card that you got is the goddess Isis with Rebirth. And in this card, she is holding her heart, but it's almost like she's containing it. So from this card, I'm getting a lot of fiery energy. So you could be somebody who people consider to be a fiery or feisty person in some way. And this draws people to you like a magnet because it's almost like you are an embodiment of the heart, but not the heart in the gentle, compassionate way, but the heart in the fiery, passionate, I'm gonna go after it and get what I want way. What draws people to you like a magnet is that you go after what you want. If there is a new idea that you have or that you want to achieve, rather than kind of sitting back and making a plan and getting super detailed and considering all the options, you are somebody who's just going to go for it. And this draws people to you like a magnet. People are attracted to you because they perceive you to be courageous, group 2. Next up, we have the Three of Cups. Alrighty, so another thing that draws people to you like a magnet is your ability to socialize and be social. You may be somebody who has a lot of friends or connects with different social circles, and if not, then people certainly perceive you to be a social butterfly in some way, or at least enjoy your company when they are socializing with you. I'm also getting a lot of yellow and orange colors from all 3 of these cards, which makes me feel that your energy is very warm and inviting. But once again, not warm and inviting in a gentle way, but more in the way of excitement. People are drawn to you like a magnet because something about you feels exciting to them, group 2. Next up, we have a Love is Your Energy. Oh, I love that. Alrighty, well, that is pretty self-explanatory. Something that draws people to you like a magnet and makes you appear attractive is that you are a very loving person. Love is your energy. And like I said, you're not somebody who is counting their good deeds or going around and trying to do something good. It's just, love is just your energy. It's just who you are. You embody love. And once again, it's not like you think about it. It's not like you plan for it. It's just like you just are it. You embody it in your body and just the way that you speak and show up. So something that draws people to you like a magnet and makes you appear attractive is your loving energy, group 2. Next up, we have the 6 of Cups. So something that attracts people to you like a magnet is that people feel safe to be sad around you. People feel safe to be in their more darker emotions around you. So people don't feel like they have to people please you or be happy around you all the time. It's like you can hold space for heavier or darker or more unpleasant emotions, and you don't take them on. You just allow that person to be how they are, to have those feelings. And people really find this attractive about you because not everyone is like that. People may feel that they have to hide these emotions or their sadness in particular from other people, but it's like with you they can be sad and you know that it's not about you and you don't take it personally. And this is very empowering for people and it draws people to you like a magnet. It's almost like you still hold the vision of people at their best, at their highest, in their beauty and in their light. Even if they are in a dark moment, even if they are feeling sad and feeling low, it's like you're seeing them in the highest light. So you don't take on their sadness as like who they are or anything like that. You're just like, okay, they're just having a sad moment. That's fine. We all have sad moments. And people love this about you, and it draws people to you like a magnet. The next card we have for you, group 2, is lead by example. So I was definitely picking that up through your energy. People look at you as a leader. They look to you to see what to do, how to be. It's almost like you're a role model. People look up to you and they think that you're worth aspiring to be like. They see the way that you act. For some reason, the word action is coming up. It came up with the first card with the Chariot, and it's coming up again now, action. So you take action in ways that are admirable, and people look up to you for this. And you lead by example through the actions that you take. And this draws people to you like a magnet because it's like something about the way that you act people aspire to be like. So they're like, oh, I want to be like group 2. So I'm going to go and see what group 2 is doing and, take their example and model after them in some way. Or group 2 does this, so I'm going to adopt that because when group 2 does it, it's just so admirable. The next card we have for you is the 7 of Swords. So something that draws people to you like a magnet is something about your words or the way that you speak and talk. Perhaps you're somebody who can be charming through how you speak to people. So maybe you use words that people feel are charming, or there's something about your voice or your speaking. Something about your voice, speaking, or words draws people to you like a magnet. People feel charmed by either your voice, your speaking, or your words in some way, and this makes you appear attractive to them. Next up, we have Great Goddess with Sacred Unity. Okay, so I actually was picking up on this with the last card, but I didn't feel it strongly, but this is kind of confirming it. Something about you seems deeply connected to everything around you. So maybe you're somebody who not only connects well with people, but maybe you also connect with the universe or connect with the elements. But something about you feels tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. Like something about you feels connected to something greater than yourself. And this draws people to you like a magnet because it gives you an energy of having a lot of blessings around you. People feel like you are somebody who is blessed and highly favored. And this comes from something about your energy feeling very connected, like I said, to something greater than yourself, to something bigger than yourself. Maybe you're a big picture thinker. You're somebody who has the skill of being able to zoom out and see the bigger picture. But something about this draws people to you like a magnet because it makes them feel like they could be more connected to the bigger picture and be surrounded by more blessings when they're around you. The next card we have for you says release toxic relationships. So something else that draws people to you is that you don't have time for toxicity in relationships. If somebody like steps to you with any level of like drama or negativity or toxicity, it's like you have this level of integrity that like you're just not gonna put up with that shit. That's what I heard. I'm not gonna put up with that shit. And people respect you for this. Like the word respect is being highlighted and standing out here. People are drawn to you like a magnet because you have a level of respect for yourself that it's like people better step to you with that respect because you have it for yourself. So there is a bar that you've set that people need to come with a certain level of respect for you. And this draws people to you like a magnet because it's brings them to a higher place. It brings more integrity to your relationship with them, and also it inspires them. Like the card lead by example, it makes you a leader because where other people might accept, you know, negativity or lower energies or drama, you're just like, nope, don't step to me with that shit. So people, you know, see you as an example, and this draws them to you and makes you attractive. The next card we have for you here is the Ace of Wands. Interesting, because this has a fox on it, and the Seven of Swords makes me almost think of fox energy. Remember how I said that there's something charming about you? Once again, it's like there's something charming about you, but it's almost like sly or cunning. Okay, and I hope that you don't take this the right way because I mean it in the best way possible, but like the fox is charming, but they're also cunning in some way. So maybe you're somebody who people perceive as someone who acts in their best interest. And this can go back to you just have this level of respect for yourself that you're not going to put up with like BS or stuff from other people that you don't think is at your level. Okay. So with the Seven of Swords, it can also talk about being a dishonest in some way, but it's not that I feel that you guys are a dishonest person. It's I was picking up the energy of charm and charming, and with the fox here being an energy of like cunning, but it's like cunning in a good way. You know how to, like I said, you have this ability to see the bigger picture, so you can use that skill to say what needs to say in order to get what you want, if that makes sense. It's like if you want to achieve a certain outcome, you know how to see the bigger picture and like take this bit of information and that bit of information and present it in this way to achieve your desired outcome. So that is kind of like the sly and cunning yet charming energy of the fox. And this makes people almost like sexually attracted to you, I'm getting with the Ace of Wands, because the Ace of Wands also represents phallic energy, and the green vines in the background here are making me think of the green man, which also represents sexual fertile energy in the masculine sense. So this charm that you have about you that is almost like maybe you're witty. It's like you're cunning and witty, but it's very charming and attractive. This draws people to you like a magnet and makes you seem sexually attractive as well. Also, with the animal, it's making me think, like I'm getting a vision of somebody like scratching the fox and like cuddling with it and petting it, but almost like in a rough way. So there is something that feels wild about you. It's like wild but contained. It goes back to Isis holding the heart here. It's like you're passionate, You're a very passionate person. You have this streak of wild energy to you, of animalistic energy to you, but it is contained. It's almost like you know how to use it to your advantage. Okay, group 2, you use this energy and you don't let this energy use you. Next up, we have spring equinox with rebirth. Okay, remember how I said in the last card that I was picking up a fertility energy? Well, that is exactly what the spring equinox is about, and you have the word rebirth twice. Under the Isis card, it says rebirth, and under spring equinox, it says rebirth. So perhaps right now you're going through a new chapter in your life, or you're experiencing new things in your life, that new territory that you haven't ventured into before. And this draws people to you like a magnet and makes you seem very attractive, because it's like you had the courage to do something different, to make a change in your life, to step outside of the box. And this draws people to you because, once again, you're leading by example. It's like, okay, group 2 has the courage to make that change in their life and to do something that they've never done before. So I want to try and do that too. So you're definitely a role model for others. Okay, and then we have the Ace of Cups. Oh wow, 2 aces. Okay, so something about you is refreshing. And what is it, Spirit? What is refreshing about group 2? I think this goes back to like your wit in some way. Maybe you're a witty person, but it's almost like I'm getting this vision of like somebody talks to you and then they're like surprised and they laugh because they're just like, oh wow, I can't believe that you're this, I don't know if honest is the right word, but it's like you're this, I think witty is the right word, because when you're witty, you're saying something honest, but almost like in a very direct and funny way. And it could even be considered like, not rude, but straight to the point. So there's something about your energy that embodies that. And it catches people off guard because they're not used to being around people like that. And this draws people to you like a magnet because it's unexpected and it feels fresh. You also have, remember how I said with the very first card, the Fairy Stallion, that there's like this innocence and this purity to you and to the actions that you take? It's coming up again with the Ace of Cups. It's like people feel this sense of innocence from you and love. It goes back also to love is your energy. You're a loving person. You seem like a really cool person, group 2, after doing this reading for you. So if we don't already know each other, I would love to get to know you. But I can see why you're an attractive person. I can see why people would be drawn to you like a magnet. There's a lot here to be attracted to. Am I getting attracted to you right now? I don't know. I could be. But yeah, it's almost like you don't let your past hold you back. You know how to like shake things off. Okay, let's say you've been hurt in the past by something. Then you might be hesitant to do it again because you're like, I got hurt before. I'm not going to do that again. And you like almost let your thinking hold you back. I don't feel that that is an issue for you. I feel like you're kind of the opposite. You're like, oh, it didn't work that time, so let me just try again. Maybe it'll work this time. Maybe if I tweak this a bit, it'll be different. So it's like you have this innovative energy to you that you're willing to take risks and try new things and try again, even if it didn't work the first time. You're persistent in some way, and this draws people to you like a magnet and makes you appear very attractive. Something about you also makes people feel like you're a kindred spirit. Like people, when they interact with you, they feel like, oh, group 2 is a kindred spirit. They get me. They understand me. Or people feel, maybe it's not that you get them or understand them, but that they feel like a similarity. So when people interact with you, there is something that reminds them of, how can I say this? You remind people of themselves. Like they can identify with you. They feel similar to you in some way. And this draws people to you like a magnet. Once again, we have another animal depicted here. So I was talking about that little wild streak, that animalistic energy, but they're both aces, which makes me think of young animals. So that purity comes out once again. innocent wildness. That's so beautiful. Okay, last and final card, we have Sanctified. Interesting. So remember how I was saying with lead by example, something about you makes people feel like you're a role model because you act with integrity in some way. You demand a certain level of respect. This is very high vibrational. People feel like you're a high vibe person, which makes them feel sanctified from their own negativity or their own lower vibrational like feelings or qualities. Remember how I also said that with the Six of Cups, you're somebody who people feel safe to be sad around. Like people can come to you with their sadness or darker feelings and emotions, and you don't take it on, or you still are able to hold them and witness them in their most positive, shining light. So this makes people feel sanctified. It makes people feel cleansed and renewed. And it's almost like you help to raise people up to the high vibrational energy that you operate in. Or at least this is how people perceive you. And this is what draws people to you like a magnet. Okay, group 2, that is what I'm seeing for you. I really hope that this reading resonated with you. And if it did, go ahead and comment down below. Let me know what thoughts and feelings that it brought up for you. Give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so that I can do more readings for you in the future. I'm wishing you a blessed week, day, month, year, and life, group 2, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye! Alrighty, so if you selected group number 3, the third group, then this is your reading all about what attracts people to you like a magnet. So today I pre-shuffled the cards and we are just going to go through them one by one. So your first card, group 3, is the Nine of Swords. Something that attracts people to you like a magnet is that you are very perceptive, keen, and aware. You may notice things that other people don't notice, and it's like I'm almost seeing like the vision of a bird of prey, such as an owl, a hawk, when they can, you know, see things that others can't see just because their eyes are genetically made to be able to see that. So there is something about you that where you can see things that others can't see. You're very perceptive and aware. And when people talk to you or interact with you, it's like you notice things that they didn't notice. And they're like, oh, group 3 notices this and that. And it almost brings them a level of anxiety because it's like, how did I not think of that or notice that? Or you may be like the type of person who shows people like the flaw in their plan or brings them a critique or a more critical aspect. You could be a critical thinker, but people actually appreciate this and are drawn to you like a magnet because of this, because it's still a skill that they don't have and that most people don't possess and that people appreciate about you. Next up, we have Death is an Illusion. Okay, group 3, welcome. So you could be somebody who views death as an illusion, somebody who believes in, you know, past lives and reincarnation, who feels like, you know, YOLO just isn't your motto. You don't think we only live once. You think that we live many times. And this draws people to you like a magnet and makes you appear very attractive. You could also be somebody who connects with people at a soul level or tries to connect with people deeper than what is on the surface. And you're somebody who believes in the soul and you want to connect with your soul and you want other people to connect with their soul, and you want to connect with others through your souls. And this draws people to you like a magnet. Also, Scorpio energy is coming up. So you could be a Scorpio, or maybe this is just highlighting the fact that you are somebody who is connected to death and transformation and rebirth. And you just have this energy of being able to stand the test of time in some way. It's like no matter what life throws at you, you can chameleon and, you know, use a different approach. And this all goes back to your ability to see what others don't. You're very perceptive. And it's just like you see a solution to every problem. You see a way through every obstacle. Nothing is going to hold you back. Death is an illusion. challenges are not going to stop you because you're able to use your ability to transform shape in order to get through them. And this is something that draws people to you like a magnet. This energy of transformation and death and rebirth. You could also be somebody who, this is not going to relate for everybody. It could just be for a select few people, or maybe even just one of you watching. You could work with the dead in some way, be a death doula, or help people who are grieving through death. Or perhaps something about the work you do helps people to remember that death is an illusion, and that we're all spirit, and that we connect through our spirits. So the next card we have for you, group 3, is the Sun. So something that draws people to you is that you have a childlike energy, or that you are good with children in some way. There's this energy of children. So maybe you have children and people find your parenting attractive in some way. Or if you don't have kids, maybe you have a readily palpable inner child that people can sense and are attracted to. Maybe there's something about you that you've been like that since childhood up until now. And this is something that, whatever that quality is, draws people to you like a magnet. But it's this sense of being connected to the energy of children, or childlike energy, or inner child through your heart space. And this brings people a sense of joy, and it attracts people to you like a magnet because it is a source of positivity that emanates from you and that gives others hope. The next card we have for you, group 3, is Arianhod with Time. Remember how I said that you guys stand the test of time in some way, and now we have the card of Time coming up. I just feel like you're very keen. You're a very keen and perceptive person, and like I said, it's like your vision goes beyond this lifetime. Your vision goes beyond all of the problems and life situations that people are usually very overwhelmed with. Like, when we have something come up in our life that's challenging, we get very overwhelmed by it, and it's all we can see and talk about, and we can't see our way forward through it. But it's like you have this sense of perception and clarity that you can just laser focus through the challenges, through the illusion of the material world and just, this one lifetime. And you can really bring your perception through all of this to the solution, to the answer, to the truth. And this is something that attracts people to you like a magnet because they really appreciate this timelessness about you. There's something timeless about you. Like, you know how, for example, Marilyn Monroe is just timeless? Like, whether you were influenced by her in the 60s or the 70s or the 80s or the 90s or now, like, she's just timeless, and that she's a legend. Right? It'll carry on. So there's something timeless about you. It's like maybe throughout all the decades that you've lived and the eras that you've lived, something about you has stayed the same. Like other people where they would follow trends and be very absorbed by, what the trendy thing to do is. It's like, you're like, nope, you can see right through, like, this is just a trend. Like, you have your own unique way of being that isn't as affected by trends or what other people are doing, and this draws people towards you like a magnet. There's a timeless quality to you. Next up, we have Iceberg with Submerged. Interesting, because this card really talks about there is more beneath the surface that you aren't aware of, and I feel like this goes back to people are not aware of things that you are aware of. When people come to you with their circumstances, you're like, I see everything that's beneath the surface, and you help bring people clarity and put the pieces of the puzzle together. You're very keen and perceptive, and I know I've said that so many times, but it's really how I can describe this energy. Yeah, so I'm just noticing like the hole or the space or the window between the two icebergs. It's like you can see through challenges, you can see through problems, you can see the way forward, you can see the solution, you might be able to see the future also. That could be a skill a psychic ability that you have, whether you're tuned in, tapped in to it or not. Your perception is just so keen. I feel like you're definitely somebody whose third eye is like clear, cleansed, and wide open. Like you can see the truth a lot more readily and not get caught up in illusions like other people do. And this draws people to you like a magnet. Next up, we have the Fool. All right, just bringing a new little flavor of energy to your reading here. You're somebody who laughs at things that other people don't get or understand yet. So you're a smart person. Like, for example, let's say you're hanging around somebody witty and they make a witty remark, but you have to kind of be the type of person who would be quick enough to catch on to it. Like you're that person. You would catch on to it and laugh at it, and everybody else is like 10 seconds delayed and they're like, what is she laughing at? Or what is he laughing at? And then all of a sudden 10 seconds later, they're like, oh, group 3 got that very quickly. Like you might also have a sense of humor that's different from the status quo. So what most people find funny, you don't. Like it makes me think of like when I was growing up, my cousins and sister would always find videos hilarious where people were like falling and injuring themselves. And I was just like, I would never laugh. I would just be like, I don't know. It just doesn't, it's not funny to me. I did not find it funny, but some people genuinely find it freaking hysterical to watch people fall down. I don't know why. I never got it. So anyways, all of this to explain that I feel like your sense of humor is different from the status quo, and the things that you find funny, it's like you come from a more maybe like intellectual place. Like you're very smart, and what you find funny isn't what most people find funny, I guess. And this draws people to you like a magnet because they're wondering, what does group 3 see here that I don't? Or like it makes you stand apart. You're different in some way to most, and this draws people to you. You might even be somebody who kind of like looks at other people like fools, like, oh, you're such a fool, such a clown. Like, how do you find that funny? How do you not see the solution to that problem? Like, you know, like you might be somebody who has that kind of a vibe to them. But this is also what attracts people to you like a magnet, because they appreciate this quality and this intelligence to you. Alrighty, so next up we have accept struggles as lessons. Yes, oh my gosh, totally. What did I say? You are somebody who doesn't see challenges and obstacles as overwhelming things like other people do. Like you aren't held back by the circumstances of your life. Like you accept struggles as lessons. You try to find out, okay, what should I learn from this experience? What can I gain? It's almost like you look at things in a practical sense. Like you're like, what can I do with this information? Almost like how an AI would look at it. Like, okay, this is the data that I've acquired, and now I'm going to apply this data to get the result that I'm looking for. And not to say that you guys are robotic, but it's like you are keen, like you know how to do that. And you're somebody who accepts struggles as lessons, or at least this is how people perceive you. And this draws people to you like a magnet, especially because they aren't able to approach struggles and take them as lessons in the same way that you are. Next up, we have Green Tara with salvation. You might be someone who is a know-it-all, okay? And I mean this in the best way possible, but you may feel like you understand so much that it's almost like, what is the point of this a lifetime? I've already learned it all. I already know it all. You might find it even challenging to find things that stimulate you because you feel like you have a lot of the knowledge that the average person has. But Green Tara is also about being saved through learning. So you could be somebody who really benefits from learning, or could benefit from learning, or enjoys learning new things, or you just have that ability to learn well. You could be somebody who did well in school. because you're just smart. You're a smart person, and this draws people to you like a magnet. People could also surprise you sometimes because you do feel like you know it all. So when somebody has something to offer that you don't already know or have yourself, you appreciate it. And it's almost like you're surprised that you appreciate it because you're not as used to appreciating things about others that you don't feel like you already possess yourself. I hope that that came out correctly. But this is a part of your growth. You actually do have a lot to learn from others. It's just that you're so far ahead in ways that other people aren't, if that makes sense. So this is something about you that draws people to you like a magnet. The next card we have for you is the Knight of Cups. So something that attracts people to you like a magnet is that, like I said earlier, you're not somebody who is interested in things just because it is the status quo, it's trendy, it's what everybody else is doing. It's like whatever your hobbies are or your fixations are, whatever you geek out about is different from what everybody else is doing and passionate about. And people find this attractive because they're like, oh wow, like if group 3 is such a smart, perceptive person and they find this interesting, then there must be something interesting about it. So people are attracted to the fact that you have your own interests apart from what everybody else is doing, and that you are passionate about different things than what most people are passionate about. You might also have a more sensitive, dreamy, artistic side to you that not everyone perceives from you right away, but the people who do see this side of you are very drawn to you like a magnet because of this. The next card we have here is, oops, I guess this one wanted to come out first. We have the 8 of Pentacles. Yes, so you are somebody who is hardworking, who is good at learning and who loves learning, who probably was good at in school and is a lifelong learner. And you like to master things. Like you like to, whether it's like crafts or whatever it is that you're interested in, it's like if you're gonna learn something, you're going to be a master at it. You don't like to be inexperienced at things, and you often aren't, because when you commit yourself to learning about something, you become a master at it because you use your dedication, hard work, and more than that, it's like your intelligence, you know, you're an intelligent person, so you're able to grasp things quickly and learn what you need to learn to become a master at things. And this draws people to you like a magnet, and they find it very attractive about you. People are also attracted to your focus on, I want to say, your craft. If you don't identify as somebody who has a craft, whatever it is that you pay attention to and focus on that, you know, stands apart from the rest, people appreciate this about you and it draws people to you like a magnet. Alrighty, so next up we have New Moon with Promise. So some of you could be in a relationship, and this relationship draws people to you like a magnet. Perhaps your partner has a lot of friends or family or acquaintances, so physically more people are near you and drawn to you because of this person. If you don't resonate with that, then perhaps people look at you and your partner as like couple goals, and they aspire to be in a relationship similar to yours. But there's something here about romance and relationships. So however you identify with that, people are drawn to you like a magnet and find this attractive about you. If you don't identify with anything about relationships or romance, then it's just your commitment to things. It's like you see things through until the end. You start with the idea, you work on the project, you finish it until completion, you tie up all the loose ends. Like you have the stamina and strength to go the distance And this goes back to what I was seeing, the vision I got at the beginning of just like a line through everything that goes for a long time. It's that timelessness. Like you can see things through until the end and commit. And this draws people to you like a magnet. Next up, we have don't relinquish your power. Yes, so where other people give over their power to other people, the circumstances of their life, where other people fall into victimhood and feel helpless to the circumstances of life sometimes. You don't, or at least people perceive you like this. People perceive you as somebody who holds your power within yourself and doesn't give it away to external forces, you know, whether that be being highly influenced by social media or, you know, like I said, trends, or just feeling so overwhelmed by the issues in your life. Like you don't let those things get to you. You're not somebody who is easily influenced. And this draws people to you like a magnet, and it makes you attractive to people. Next up, we have the Four of Wands. Wow, this card, like they're all playing the flute, or no, sorry, 3 of them are playing the flute, 1 is playing the violin, but they're playing an instrument. And this card comes underneath accept struggles as lessons. It's like where other people are discouraged by struggle and discomfort, you are motivated by it. Like learning an instrument, for example, is challenging. And some people give up pretty easily because it's hard. And it's like, you don't. You are somebody who the hardness, the struggle, and what it is that you're trying to learn or achieve doesn't get in your way like it does for most people. And sorry, I feel like I could be repeating myself a lot, but this is what's coming through. So this is what you need to hear about why people are drawn to you, okay? The Four of Wands also talks about marriage and celebration in a union of some sense, which brings me back to the new moon and promise card. If you are somebody who is in a relationship, then something about this relationship draws people to you like a magnet. And something about this relationship makes people feel like there's something worth celebrating about you, or like I said, maybe you guys are couple goals, but people celebrate this relationship in some way. If you don't identify as somebody in a relationship, then it is just about people celebrating your tenacity. So the last card we have here is 55 with alignment. And no surprise here that 55 is the number of challenge and change. Okay, and remember how I was saying you guys are not afraid of a challenge. This is another confirmation of that. It's like you help people to align to a higher, deeper, or broader, or more full picture view of things and bring them into alignment through your dedication and stamina and your willingness to face and accept challenges and not let them hold you back. Also could be somebody who has a good finger on the pulse in terms of your energy. Like you know what your energy levels are. You know when you need to retreat and be alone. You know when you need to give your energy out to others or to yourself. You know how to keep your energy in alignment. Whatever it is that you personally do to preserve your energy levels and make sure that you're staying rejuvenated. People appreciate this about you, and it draws people to you like a magnet. All right, group 3, that is what I'm seeing for you. It's so interesting because all 3 groups had completely different energies and vibes. So I think that it should be pretty clear picking the groups this time because they were all so different, but definitely even your energy, group 3, it was so unique to any other reading I've ever done. So thank you for showing up to my video, my readings. As you know, it's cool for me to read different types of people and different types of energies. So I really appreciate you showing up to this reading. Go ahead and like this video if you liked it. Comment down below and let me know the thoughts and feelings that the reading brought up for you and if it resonated. I am wishing you a blessed week, month, year, and a life, group 3, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Bye!